What's going on, everybody? Just Haley here, and today I'm going to be taking you guys through a slightly different type of video. Now, this video is going to be set up such that you guys will be able to hopefully get as prepared as possible for when any new Prime drops. I figured with Lavos Prime right around the corner, this was the perfect time to do something like this. Now, there are two methods that we're going to be going over today for how to get your preparation ready for Primes. Those are going to be your Syndicates and Steel Essence. Now, if you don't have access to Steel Path, obviously Steel Essence isn't going to matter as much, so we'll talk about that in just a bit. But Syndicates are something that we should all have access to and all be working towards. As you can see on the screen, I do have 4 Syndicates that I am pledged to, and I also have at rank 5. I'll be showing you guys how to maintain a 5 rank syndicate in this video, so you get all the benefits from when a new Prime drops. So you can buy things like relic packs, which are a fantastic way to get a ton of relics really easily. The other thing that I will be showcasing for you guys is all of the different benefits of running 4 syndicates, because you get all the benefits of all of the augments, the weapons, everything else. Now, relic packs, you can get 24 really easily because it's 6 per syndicate that you're pledged to on the day that a Prime drops, as well as with daily standing and medallions, syndicate missions, stuff like that. You can get even more. The one caveat is if you are running 4 syndicates, it's worth mentioning that that is going to create a problem for one of those syndicates potentially dropping below. However, you can do this as long as you view this as essentially 3 pairings. It's very easy to maintain. The pairings are essentially Red Veil and Steel Meridian together, Cephalon Suda and Arbiters of Hexus together, and New Loka and Parent Sequence together. Essentially, with the typical pairings being New Loka Parent or Cephalon Suda and Arbiters, you can then run both of Steel Meridian and Red Veil together as long as you are cognizant of what you are pledging to. In this case, we are only going to be using either Steel Meridian and Cephalon Suda to level up, or Red Veil and New Loka to level up. Since the way that they work, essentially, as you level up your New Loka, you will lose 50% from Steel Meridian. You then just need to make sure that you are leveling your Red Veil to keep your Steel Meridian above rank 5. When your Steel Meridian is fully leveled up, you can level up your New Loka all the way up and only drop your Steel Meridian by 50%, or in my case, I can use Steel Meridian to level up my Red Veil, and then whenever I level Suda, I will only lose 50% of my Red Veil standing. That's just how these work overall. I do have a little bit of a flow chart that I can give you guys as well, just so you guys can have a better understanding of how I run this, and that is a really, really nice way to be able to keep this kind of going. So essentially, it just becomes a balance, right? You're going to use Cephalon Suda to level up Arbiters of Hexus. Conversely, you would use New Loka to level up Parent Sequence. You will use Red Veil and Steel Meridian to level up each other. And then essentially, if you're running my setup, so flip this if you're not, you will use Steel Meridian, level it all the way up to 100%. Your Red Veil will then be 50. Spend your Steel Meridian, and then level it up one more time. Red Veil will now be 100%. Now you can flip to Cephalon Suda, level up your Cephalon Suda all the way up, then flip back to Steel Meridian. Hopefully you spent it already. You'll level up Steel Meridian again, get it to 100%. Red Veil will now be back to 100 because it went down to 50 when you leveled up Suda. Go back to Suda, level it all the way up, and now your Red Veil will be back to 50, so then you flip back to Steel Meridian, level it all the way up, and now all of your syndicates will be at max standing. It's really easy to do, and it is the best way to make sure that you are keeping up with things like augments, weapons, all that kind of extra stuff. The other thing you can do is look for medallions. You can do syndicate missions to pick up medallions. As you can see, most of my missions are done for Steel Meridian. It's my safety. So if you are running the Cephalon Suda and the Arbiters of Hexus, as well as the Steel Meridian and Red Veil, Steel Meridian is your safety. Flip the script on the other grouping, you will use Red Veil as your safety, because Red Veil won't impact anything except your Steel Meridian, and Steel Meridian won't impact anything except Red Veil when you are running that, so keep that in mind. Now, syndicate missions and medallions bypass your standing cap, so that does mean that you can get an extra roughly 12,000 standing per day just from your Syndicate missions on top of Medallions. There's a ton of Zaku builds out there that'll show you Zaku's a really great frame to be able to run for your Syndicate Medallion search. Just make sure you have a really solid item radar, your loot radar for that. It's very easy to run. When you stack up medallions really easily, really plentifully before, those also bypass standing caps. Just make sure you have your standing in first for the day, and then it'll bypass that standing cap. That'll mean that you can get even more standing and build this up even quicker if you so choose. There's a ton of standing available from those each day, so keep that in mind. The only ones that aren't great for that typically are your defense missions, but any like exterminates or any like mission tile sets where you're moving through the tile set, exterminates, interceptions, not great, but other tile sets like that are great. So now you'll be able to get all your augments, all your weapons, scenes, animations, decorations, any of that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to use that for every school except for the 2 that you're not pledged to. That already is very, very valuable, and it is a great source of platinum if you're looking for it. Not a lot at once, but a sizable amount. The other thing that you're going to be able to do is go into your, and I always get here by visiting Conclave, fun fact, go into Teshin on your relay, whatever relay you want to go to. Teshin is going to offer you Steel Essence Exchange. Now this is only for people who have access to Steel Path, of course, but for the cost of 375 Steel Essence, you can go into the Steel Path Honors and then look for the relic packs. Now that is up to 25 relic packs per week. So you can see 25 is going to equal 375 Steel Essence. I also get my Kuva each week. This is very easy to maintain so long as you're running relics with Omni Fissures and stuff like that. As long as those missions go for a little bit of time, an hour or something like that, it can be very easy to get at least 100 or so Steel Essence pretty consistently, and it goes very, very easily through that. And honestly, I'm probably pulling closer to 200 to 220 per hour of Steel Essence, as long as I'm cracking these relics. Now what this means is essentially I can use these relic packs initially to get a couple of the relics that I want for whatever the primes might be. In this case, Lavos Prime is coming up, the Ceto Prime, the Zoran Prime, all that kind of stuff. I will farm those on stream with people, running Omni missions typically for that kind of stuff, and then hopefully get a couple sets really quickly. Now keep in mind, the sooner you get sets for primes, the easier they are to sell for high value, so you can make more plat very quickly. And if you do decide to do that, that is a really quick way to turn around some of your investment into the game, Steel Essence and Syndicate standing, and turn it into platinum. Now Teshin's great for that. Teshin works really well for allowing you to be able to do that. But again, keep in mind that you do have the ability to do similar things with just Syndicates if you don't have access to Steel Path. The Syndicate missions are a fantastic method of being able to do this because they do bypass your standing cap. They are found in the alerts for your Syndicate alerts, and it's just a really consistent, really easy way to get a ton of relics at the start. In fact, without counting the daily standing and the additional that you can get on reset, when you go through, you can actually get 147 relics, which isn't going to be a crazy amount on whatever you're looking for, but it is going to be the chance to get a chunk of those prime relics to immediately start farming. Now there are going to be missions that are going to be best in slot for farming out your axes and all of the mesos and everything like that, but those can be a little bit annoying. Those can be a bit of a grind, and trying to alleviate that as much as possible while giving you the best chance to get a prime set right away or as quick as possible on reset. That's what the intent here is, right? I don't want you guys to have to run through a bunch of capture missions over and over again if I can help alleviate some of that grind, right? Or do a bunch of disruptions for extended periods of time trying to get those Axie relics, depending on where the prime parts go. Now it's a little bit late at this point to maybe do this for Lavos, but hopefully this helps you guys in the future for when primes release. They do release every, like 3-4 months, something like that. So what this will essentially do is it'll give you the best chance to get a chunk of relics, and then if you are stacking up things like medallions, things like doing your Syndicate missions and stuff in the meantime, as you can see, it is a little bit imbalanced in the amount of standing that you can get from each group of missions. So this is one thing that when you do spend your Syndicate standing, you are at the weakest to accidentally go under that rank 5, and you don't want to do that because having to rebuild from rank 5 is going to just be a little bit more annoying, and it's something else to have to think about. So keep in mind that if you just want to do it as easy as possible, only ever do Syndicate missions for your safety, which is either going to be Steel Meridian if you're set up like me, or if you flip it and you're a new Loka and Perrin sequence, you want to do it for Red Veil, It's not going to be quite as much standing, but it's less to have to think about, and that's just easier in most cases. For the most part, right after reset, I will spend this for about 3 weeks, keeping just consistent standing spend on my Steel Meridian and keeping all of my Steel Essence going into my Kuva each week. I get about 300k Kuva, and then the Steel Essence is the other thing that I focus on. Obviously, I have a little bit of a benefit being LR4. I do have that extra standing that I get each day, but this is something that you could maintain even at a lower mastery rank. It just takes a little bit more commitment, a little bit more understanding, and just making sure that you're committed to doing this. It's very easy. It sets up way faster than you think it does, and it is so worth it. Honestly, that's about it for today. I hope this video found you in good health. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did like the video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It helps me out a ton, more than you know. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and until next time, please remember that I love your faces. Bye, guys.